The time you least feel like doing something is the best time to do it. And part of the reason for this is because when you enlarge your willpower muscle in one important area, your self-discipline in every other area rises with you.
It rises up like.
All right, it's 5 a.m. somewhere, so let's get going. Today we're talking about the 5 a.m. Club, so before we dive in, let's take a look at who the hell wrote this book. Who is Robin Sharma?
Right you are.
He is a globally respected humanitarian who for over a quarter of a century has been devoted to helping human beings realize their native gifts. He's assisted companies such as Microsoft, Nike, Starbucks, FedEx, HP, kind of like the small businesses of the country. And 5 a.m. Club is his #1 international bestseller, and we're going over it today, so lucky us. 5 a.m. Club is definitely the most unique self-help book I've read to date, and the reason for that is because it reveals all its lessons through a story that plays out over the course of the book, and it centers on 3 kind of 4-ish main characters, and 2 of those are an artist and an entrepreneur, and they attend this conference where a motivational speaker is talking to a massive crowd. And the motivational speaker on stage, he collapses, and what ensues is kind of the rest of that story. And the book unfolds as these characters kind of grapple with what just happened. And while the narrative that's laid out by Sharma in presenting his advice was refreshing, I thought that it was the worst part of the book because the way he builds his characters and their relationships and writes dialogue and the world building, I just thought that was kind of thrown in there as like a, hey, look at this is kind of cool and new, and it was, and it kept me reading, but it's not when the book is at its best. The book is at its best when it's just giving advice, and the dialogue that's within the book, to me, was just cheesy. It kind of gave me Attack of the Clones vibes.
I don't like sand. It's coarse and rough and irritating, and it gets everywhere. Not like here. Here everything is soft and smooth.
But even though I didn't like the cheesy dialogue, I did think that the advice given in the book, not only about your morning, but in all aspects of your day, was well worth the price of the book. And something that's worked really well for me is when I get up in the morning, I try and get all the important things done and out of the way. So I just write my list of priorities, which can sometimes change, but generally it goes a little something like this. I'll get up at not 5, but 6 a.m. I've done 5 a.m. before, but I'm doing 6 a.m. right now. And I'll read for at least an hour. After I'm done reading, I'll write some notes for about 15 minutes, make sure I comprehend what I read. Maybe I'll catch up on the news after that and see what happened overnight. I like to go for walks around my neighborhood, and then I'll check emails after that's done, make sure everything's caught up with work. I try and check up on work, between 2 or 3 points in a day, and just make sure that I'm not falling behind there. And I try and do 20 to 30 minutes of exercise. The thing about exercise, and the book talks about this, is that it elevates all things. It's another form of exercising your willpower muscle, which is one of the major teachings in this book. Exercising your willpower as frequently as possible is so crucial for you in gaining traction in literally whatever you're trying to do. If forming better habits is made easier by removing resistance, then increasing your willpower is the most important thing you can do. And resting your willpower muscle is so crucial. It's just like resting any other muscle you would work out normally in your body. It helps it recover and stretch and become bigger over time. The book even talks about napping. And napping is something I try and do as well. Just like a 30-minute nap can work wonders for you. And that whole concept of napping is talked about in the book Why We Sleep. Fascinating information in that one. Definitely worth your time to check out. But take breaks, let yourself recover, and get some rest. The billionaire in this book took entire summers off.
Oh, wouldn't that be nice?
Now, before I let you guys know who I think should read this book, if you could please like this video and leave a comment down below to let me know your thoughts, if you agree with what I've been saying about the 5 a.m. Club, or if you disagree with some of my critiques. I would love to know your thoughts, and we'll get that conversation going. And as always, if you could please subscribe to my channel, I'd appreciate your support, but let's get back to the action. If you're someone who wants a bit of a reprieve from the normal structure of a self-help book, then I think the 5 a.m. Club can help you out in that regard, because the storyline is what makes this unique. Right around the time I bought this book, I was actually thinking that I just needed something refreshing, and I was going to actually just venture into either fiction or something else, but it was actually really cool because it was presented in a completely different way with this story. Granted, I had my bones to pick with the story, which I shared earlier, but it's definitely different and offers something new. The book also offers what I think is probably the most detailed proposal of what your morning and daily schedule should look like. And he breaks it up into smaller blocks and tells you the significance of each block, which I really liked. So you don't have to like focus on the bigger picture. You can break it up into small pieces and take things from there. And what he offers isn't exactly like what you have to do. It's definitely malleable in that regard. But if you're someone who likes to be provided like a holistic structure, then he does give you something that is pretty well thought out. But that's it for this one. Short, sweet, and to the point. Again, that is the 5 a.m. Club by Robin Sharma. Next, I am going to be reviewing Never Split the Difference by Chris Voss. This is about mastering the art of negotiation. So, I really, really like this book, and it's definitely a front runner for my favorite of the year. And it's the best one I've read probably in the past couple months. So, thanks everybody again for watching, and I'll see you next time.